Hello, friends. You're welcome to my class. My class today has to do with this auto gele. So if you're interested, let's just go. Just watch what I will be doing. I'll start by cutting out all the measurement that I will be needing, and they are written on the screen. So if you know you're interested in the measurement and you want to try this out, just simply watch the screen and copy the measurement. So we are going to start with how to make the base. So the base I would be using 4 piece of 17 inches. So I'll cut out 17 inches into 4 places. I would be joining two, that is, I'll pair two together and then I'll create the pleat. And then for the cover, I would be cutting out 25 inches, 2 piece of 25 inches, so that I can use to cover the back of the base. And then for the body, I would be cutting out 30 inches, 6. So if you have less than 6, you can work with it. But I know that the minimum you can use can be like 4. I don't think 3 will be okay for this work. So at least use 4. So, but I'm working with 6, 30 inches, 6. So here are the measurements. Just wash carefully, and you can use that to cut out yours before you join them. So what I'm doing is just cutting out what I need to use. After cutting them out, I'll take it to the sewing machine and then I'll begin to join. And as I join them, I would also be explaining to you what you need to do. All right, so now I am done with cutting out everything I need. So you can see the cover. We have two for the base. I have pairs of two, so I have 4 piece together. So quickly on my sewing machine, I'm going to start by joining the pairs. I told you that I would be using two to form one pleat, two to form another pleat. So I will join the pairs, and it is very important that after you join the middle, and you can see how I am joining, I'm not like you have to put it flat to join. In fact, if you have a weaving machine, no, not a weaving, if you have a zigzag machine, it is the best machine to join your ashoke. But if you do not have a zigzag machine, you can simply lay the ashoke down flat and then sew at the very tiny edge, so that you don't give any space at all. So you are not moving in with anything, just like put the edges together and sew it like you see me doing now. So this is how I would be joining all of the different parts of this autogele that I have cut out. So after that, I fold the edges, because if you do not fold the edges, it has a way of losing. So you have to fold the edge. After folding the edge, you begin with the pleat. And to start the pleat, I started by folding in at least 1 inch from the back I sew. And then after that, I started folding on top of the first pleat I created. And to do that, you just have to be careful. You have to determine the space you want between your pleat, so that your pleat will look smooth. You don't have to like have a separate inch for the beginning, another for the, so it has to be a uniform thing. So you try to ensure that you are able to pleat in using almost, because if I say using the same distance, I don't think I'll be correct, because it's not possible for you to use the same distance, since you are not going to be measuring what you are folding out. So I would advise that you just simply um fold and fold carefully. Right, so what I'm doing to this first part of the plate is the same thing I would be repeating for the second part of the plate, so that I'll have two separate plates and then I'll cross it. So assuming you do not wish to make a cross base, you just want it to be a straight base, then you would need 20 inch. You are not going to cut out 17, you are going to cut out inch 20 inches. then join two of it together and pleat the same way I am pleating. So I'm using this video to explain both the straight pleat and the pleat and the V front pleat. So you can see that already I have the two of the bases prepared and I'm ready to cross it. So the side you cross to is a thing of choice. To the left, to the right is a thing of choice. So you can cross to any of the direction, but I always advise that you know your right hand, so that where the you want the gele to flow to will be the direction you will cross your base to, so that the gele will be on top of the V that is on top. That is to be on top of the base that is on top. So it has a way of looking very unique when you do it that way. And then now, when I create my plate, I have to ensure that the length of the crossing is less than 20. So you have to take that, you have to take note of that. And then I start by securing it as well before attaching the cover to it. So what I simply do is what you are seeing me doing now. I start by crossing and looking that it is okay. This is where I want it to be, and then I'll just simply use my sewing machine and hold it together before finally having to put the cover on it. So while I'm putting the cover on it, I don't have the chances of losing the measurement I've already used. Now I want you to take note that once this measurement of your crossing is above 20, it becomes difficult for you to attach the belt to it and for it to fit properly on the head. So that's why I am emphasizing that your crossing, after crossing, the base should be less than 20. So you should be having like 18 and maybe 19. Even if you have 17 is perfect, but I think 18 is the best to work with. So after this process, I would be attaching the welcome tape to it. I call it a hook and loop, or you can just simply say we are attaching the belt to it. And when you want to attach the belt, the simplest thing to do is to cut out just 6 inches of the ASOKE into two pieces, and then you fold it the way you are seeing me doing now. You sew it separately first. After that, you have to attach the hook and loop, otherwise known as the welcome tape, on it. Now when you want to attach that to it, you have to ensure that it's not covering the entire belt. That's why you see that I started with it covering, and then you saw that I actually reduced it. And the reason I have reduced it is to enable me have a space with which I would be fixing it on the base of the gele. So you do not need to fix the velcro tape edge to edge. You need to give a space of at least 1.1 1.5 inch or 1 inch, so that you can attach it to the base of the gele. So after doing that, the next thing I would be doing is just joining the 6 pieces of the ashoke that I have cut out to use for the body. All right. So quickly, if today is your first time stopping by my channel, I want to just welcome you. You are welcome to Creative Ends International, and this is my YouTube channel. All right. So if today is your first time and you think you love what you are seeing, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and also please do not forget to recommend this channel to other of friends or other persons that you know. Okay, so now back to real business. We are going to be creating the ruffles. The good news is creating these ruffles is very easy, because if you look at the picture of the auto gele that I posted at the beginning, you see that the ruffles is not a serious ruffles. You know, we have some ruffles we do that are very serious. You have to like keep picking and picking. This ruffles is just should I just use the word like unconventional? It's not, it's very serious ruffle. So what I am doing is I started by picking out the gele. Like I'm going to create a fan, and then I'll just hold the first part. You can see I just use my needle to pin it down. Then I'll go to the bottom, which is the side that is closest to the neck, and I will also use my needle and thread to sew that part together. And then after that, I would be determining the length or how far I want the ruffles to go, because I do not really want the ruffles to like cover end to end of the gele. So I have to like stop it at the eye side. So after the V, or before I get to the next ear, I will need to stop it. So I have to like determine where I want it to be, and then I'll just simply fold it. Creating ruffles is simply a way of making uh creating a rough beautiful work. It has to be like is rough. That's why we call it ruffles. It's a way of creating a rough but beautiful work. It means that the roughness we are creating has to have a pattern. It has to follow a certain pattern. And once you are able to lead it according to a certain pattern, you surely come out with something beautiful at the end of the day. So like I said to you before, it's not difficult to create the ruffles. You can just see that it's very simple for me to come up with it, and you don't really need to fold to get these ruffles. It's just like creating a fan and then collapsing the fan. But one thing that you need to do seriously in this is the fact that you would need to like really stitch it very well with your needle and thread to ensure that every part of the ruffles is really sleeping, as in resting. And then from there you see the beauty. So you can just see I am done with it, and the next thing I would be doing is going to be for me to fix it to the base. That is, I need to attach all what I have done now to the base. I have not attached it, and you cannot attach the gele to the base without first of all having to finish the design. So you have to like finish designing before you attach it to the base. But right now I am done with the design. If there is anything I will need to do, it will just be for me to do some little corrections with needle and thread, which I can always do even after I have fixed it. So I'll just fix the design on the gele, and if you watch what I'm doing carefully, you see that I'm just like using my needle and thread to hold the first two layers to the base and making sure that it is very smooth. And that will just be all. The end of it is that I would be attaching the handle to it, and before you know it, this gele is ready. Okay, once again, you can drop your comment on the session and I would answer your questions, and that is why I'm here. So this is all for today's tutorial. I do hope you love it. I will be seeing you in my next video. So for now, from my end, it will be bye. Bye for now.